Do you want to know what is inside the Mechanics of Poker program? Go over to the site where you can watch a free 1-hour demo. What's up? What's up? Yo, 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 yo. Say yo, yo, yo. Woof. Welcome, guys, to the Wakko show. I'm the Wakko. This is my show. Hello, Wakko's dog. Name is Bella. Because she's very Bella. That's how it goes. And I have the video at where I left it off last time. Did you guys learn something from last who was here last week as well for the first part? Pretty soft lineup. You would definitely sit down. It would be a nice game to play. Give us a look at the right. The goal was to at least before the end of the year again shot at 10k. Would be a nice shot. Would definitely be a nice shot. Wakko, when I watch your videos intro the course, it seems like your coaching is radically different from other coachings. Would you agree? Hey, Steve. I did not pay you to say this, but I could have. But indeed, it is way different. I mean, the reason why I decided to make a product is because I saw all the products out there. And I am a very disappointed customer of most coaching products. And I was like, guys, come on. What the fuck are you guys all talking about? This is not how poker works. So then I said, okay, you know, I can probably make something better. And here we are. Hey, we have a follower. Again, guys, shout out to Highstakes Poker Reel. Did I say that correctly? Highstakes Poker Stream. Go follow them on Twitch if you want to see this video back. And we might see a lead here on the turn. No, actually, we didn't see a lead. This is actually a spot that people over the years have started leading. In general, the turn leading concept has been a little bit over-applied. People actually leading range in a lot of paired scenarios. This is definitely not the correct strategy. But there's, again, hands that benefit from the concept of leading. Okay, why would you lead in 8, for example? Well, that's to prevent Stefan from pot controlling. Okay, just an example. Stefan decides to barrel. This spot is also interesting in terms of did you give, if you look at a sim, did you give the out of position a donk betting range, yes or no? If you didn't, your barrel frequency in position will go down. If you did, then Linus will already let some 8x, and his range becomes a little bit more heavily weighted towards an ace. So, for example, a hand like ace 10, ace jack will bet at a higher frequency. This is something, again, in terms of solvers, not just copying the outcome, because these kind of factors play a big part, right? It's making the optimal solution versus the range that has been checked to him. So if you gave it a donk or not, that will have a big impact on how the spot is going to play. And it looks like Linus called the barrel here. So Linus's range is very heavily weighted now towards an ace. Maybe that he decides to check call some of his weaker 8x. That's definitely an option. That he decides, for example, okay, I will lead some of my stronger 8x and check some of my weaker 8x. Maybe that is an option, because also let's say he has ace 8-7. Stefan has more ace-king, whereas if he has king-8, Stefan has less ace-king. So let's see what's going to happen. I would expect Stefan now to definitely be throwing out some big bets, as I think Linus could definitely have already let an ace on the turn, check raise an 8 on the turn. So I think his range is very much weighted towards a weaker ace, and Stefan definitely has the advantage now in terms of an 8, in terms of an ace. So I would expect a lot of aggression here from Stefan. So let's see. Is Stefan indeed gonna fire a lot of aggression? Indeed, he goes for pot. This is actually also something that we saw quite often. This is actually something I personally don't use a lot of potting. I usually go 75 or overbet. But there's definitely a couple of spots where I think it made a lot of sense. I remember the ace jack from makeboifin. And I think this is again a similar situation where, yes, we have an advantage. But are we really going to overbet ace queen for 150% pot? Maybe not really. So I think this way, maybe actually in this spot I would say a slight over could still be okay. But there's obviously still a chance that Linus has some 8x. So I think again pot is a good sizing here. And this is also, like you can see in my thought process as well, I'm looking at what sizing makes most sense with the range that I'm betting. So how do you come up with a sizing in a certain situation? It's to evaluate your range and the type of hands you're betting. Okay, this is how I, for example, also start to say, oh, there's a split strategy here. We sometimes bet big, sometimes bet small. That's because if you look at certain hands in your range, they will benefit from the EV generated by a small bet or by a check, and other hands generate a lot of EV in a big bet. And I see hands in our range. Some hands benefit from small, some hands benefit from big, so they automatically know that there's a split. Stefan is a no-nit. Don't believe this guy. And he called down with, so the triple, okay, definitely no chicken song for Stefan here. It was 7-9 versus ace-queen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, ace-queen off for Linus in the big blind, and 7-9 for Stefan. Basically, this is kind of what I was saying. I think what Stefan is trying to do here, he kind of assumed that lower 8x might not lead the turn. So he now has very good blockers to his best 8x, basically, which are his lower 8x. So that's why he tripled off. Obviously, he also has quite a lot of... From his range perspective, he has quite a lot of strong hands. And he's unfortunate, in my opinion, that he runs into the top of Linus's range. Because basically, I think Stefan could still use this sizing with ace-queen himself. So yeah, I think Linus has a call. Believe me, these guys, okay, and this is how you should see poker. This is also actually a reason why I like to play in big blinds. It's just ammunition, guys. It's a war. You have a gun, the other guys have a gun. You've been handed ammunition, which is your money, and you're just gonna shoot and hope to shoot down your opponent, okay? It's nothing anymore to do with money. Linus is Triton interview said same thing, that he enjoys heads up with racks or 300 rather than bum hunting VIPs. Yeah, and this has everything to do with he's not playing the game for the money, right? He's playing the game for the challenge. And he doesn't feel motivated to play versus recreational players. You could say that's a leak. I remember Linus, guys. Shout out to Linus. When Linus moved up 6 years ago, probably, right? So I was playing 5-10 as well. And like some 5-0 Zoom. And Linus was also playing those games. And then basically people would battle, right? To get the tables, to get the lobbies. So we would be playing 3-handed or 4-handed. Then the recreational joined the game. Who would leave the fucking game? Linus. And Linus would start a new 3-handed game. And everyone said Linus was fucking crazy. Okay? He was doing something completely different than what the rest was doing. And you already guessed it. He also got results that were different than what the rest was doing. So in general, if you do what everyone does, you will get what everyone has. If you do something that's out of the ordinary, okay, you change your approach, like Linus did, two things can happen. Either you crash and burn because your approach was simply worse, or your approach was indeed better and your results will be way higher than these other players, right? But it's hard to go against the norm. This is in general also with your approach to poker strategy, for example. What I struggled with a lot in my career, especially in the earlier years, when I was a little bit lower in confidence, I would think, like, for example, for a long time I was using a strategy where I would just double the raises opening and would just follow it up with a min bet, for example. Because I figured, hey, you know, these small sizings, I kept his range right, and now he cannot really defend. But there were no solvers back in the time to give me that confirmation. For example, I was one of the fewer players that started limping in the small blind. That was something that I intuitively thought was a good play. And you know, there's many other strategies that I at that moment felt like were good, but the rest weren't doing. But I often, because of a little bit low confidence, would just go back to what everyone else was doing, because basically what I was saying is, you guys are all wrong, okay? You guys don't understand how the game is played. I think this is better. You need a lot of confidence, so shout out to Linus, guys. He had the confidence. He was like, listen, guys, you guys are hanging with the fish. I have a bigger vision for this game. I'm gonna quit when the fish comes and come battle me again 3-4-handed. And we were the losers that kept every time falling for the trap and playing Linus 3-handed. Which I've gave many times the suggestion not to do, unless you like the game, like Stefan and makeboifin do. That was a very long rant. Stefan going with his big... Oh, this time actually went for 3/4. We saw him use bigger sizings on other boards. Definitely a board that he could also bet bigger. Especially because it's rainbow. I have but experience with course. I learn better from free content. Free content, I'm trying more to figure out why action is correct. Actually, it's scientifically proven that if you pay for something, especially when it becomes a little bit more expensive, you're more likely to soak up the information. Yeah, I find it hard to focus on 40 to 60 minute videos in courses, yet I could talk one-on-one about poker for hours. Definitely understand that. I've tried to make my program as... Because I feel you, man. Man, there's so many products out there that I cannot stand watching. After 10 minutes, I'm already done. I tried in everything that I make. A lot of things are going to be new to you, okay? It's a completely different way of looking at the game, in my opinion. I've also tried to, as you notice in Love the Twitch stream, I tried to put a lot of energy into it and give my passion through what I'm doing, in this case, twitching. I've done the same in the program. I've added a little bit of humor in there. You know, I try to make the viewer experience as nice as possible, okay? And I think we did a very good job on that. Or I just like myself watching, or I like to just watch myself back. That's also an option. Actually, Stefan decided to go for a check. It's definitely a turn that you will have quite a high barreling frequency. Yes, I think actually gonna fold the river. I was gonna say maybe as King Deuce or something. But even King Deuce is probably inclined to barrel. I think he maybe had a hand like A6. No, that's not a hand. Jack 6, 10-6. 10-6 of spades or something. 10-7 of spades. But Wakko, give us something first to improve so I can afford the mechanics. Yeah, and that is exactly the whole point of the academy, right? Basically, if you have a company like Poker Ambition, what you're trying to do is you're trying to offer a range of products that someone can come in when they just learned poker as a game till the most advanced level, right? That's in the end a mission I think most companies will have. They want to offer something to the range. You come in at the beginning of Poker Ambition, and if you like our services, like your products, you're more likely to stay, and you're more likely to purchase other products, right? This is a benefit for both the company and a benefit for both the student, because you're here, you've improved, and therefore you're naturally gonna stay within Poker Ambition to look for the next step, right? Because you have a positive experience. We have a loyal customer, so it's a win-win for both parties, okay? So we have free products like Twitch, YouTube. Then we have the Academy, which will be cheaper. And then we have the mechanics. Still a big jump in between, but I definitely think at some point you have to take that leap. Actually, we have masterclasses in between, but masterclass is more of a specialization where the mechanics is really explaining you all the fundamentals how poker works. And then in a masterclass, I zoom in on this very specific spot. So you would get very good in that specific spot. A lot of concepts will return, but I think it will less benefit you if you haven't already seen the mechanics. I first actually wanted to make it in a way that you had to have bought the mechanics in order to enroll for the masterclass, because I think that's the way to go. But yeah, I would be, as they say in Holland, a thief of my own wallet if I would do that. Why would I have a product that people cannot buy? So my own idealism, if that is a word, got in the way, would have gotten in the way there. But actually, I'm planning on adding. Oh, actually, we do actually now get a bet over bet. That's quite funky, yeah. So I really don't get this play. You know, sometimes you have a couple of these scenarios where you have no fucking clue what's going on. Tell me, guys, what the fuck is going on here? We need your help, bro. What do you guys think Stefan is up to? So he betted 3/4 on the flop, checked the turn, and now overbets the river. Okay. But help me out there, guys. What the fuck? Overbet. I never really understand the bet check bet overbet in this kind of scenarios. Ace king? But I would probably still just prefer to bet, because basically Linus can still have 3s, 4s, 9s, queen 9, king 9. These are all hands that we cannot have anymore. Now he doesn't have another advantage. That's kind of the problem, right? King 9 is very likely to barrel turn, I would say. Stefan probably also doesn't have 10 jack. This is probably one of the first hands that you will barrel on the turn. For example, if he would have barreled the turn, hey, by all means, man, go completely bananas. Because indeed you have the 10 jack. But now it's very weird. So I would say this is a bluff. I would go for like I said, I would stick with my initial read with 10-6 suited or something. Or he has ace king. Stefan guy is crazy, yeah?
Feel the power. You feel my power, baby? Feel my power.
Feel my power, Linus. Feel my power. This was actually an interesting spot. A spot that we talked about earlier as well. Where makeboifin decided to go for a big sizing on the turn. And we saw here Linus going for a very big sizing as well. This is a... You could even go a little bit bigger, I would say. Definitely, again, a deeper stacked concept to increase your bet sizing here. And we start to see some pot betting here. This is actually a nice pot to pot. I think it was makeboifin called flop and on the turn was check to. I like pot as a sizing. And river is quite interesting. I wouldn't... 3/4 or pot, I would say. Fine sizings. I would personally size down to 3/4, but... Oh, wow, he lost versus Stefan's ace deuce. Guys, this is it. This is it. This is what we've all been waiting for. I mean, if you lose versus ace deuce, that has to be a chicken song, right? What is your definition? Okay, so I'm gonna come because this is classic. This was also my point. We saw a lot of different actions. Okay, in my opinion, there is no best poker player. There's only your definition of being your best. So let's say, for example, if Linus's goal is that he wants to make the most money possible out of poker, then he should maybe, we could argue that there's better ways to do this, right? Assuming that battling three-handed with makeboifin and Stefan has nothing to do with that. But if his goal is to just be the best online poker player and able to beat everyone, then his actions are in line with his goals. So he's on the right path. So there is actually no correct answer. There's only what is important for you. Because in the end, if you succeed, so let's say, for example, you make the most amount of money possible because you hunt fish, but you feel really bad about yourself because in your true heart, you feel like battling these guys is more satisfaction, should give more satisfaction to you, right? It's important to you, it's in your values. Then you failed in your poker career, basically, right? If you guys understand what I mean. And here we face a raise. This is some serious action. No, actually just a 3-bet and a raise. Versus a bigger sizing. This one is quite interesting because they're quite deep, huh? They're... Interesting what Mikey is gonna raise stack off here. I don't know, a good combo draw? Are you gonna raise jacks now? I would just prefer to call. Same with tens. Getting in tens feels a little bit loose. 8-8 plus. I mean, yeah, it's possible, I guess. Especially also versus the bigger sizing, you know, there's already 3.6k in the pot. I'm just not really sure the fact that we're, what, 125 BB deep. I would definitely up my character, I wouldn't go for 8s personally. 7 deuce diamonds. Shout out to the 7 deuce diamonds. Any update on the Academy release date? End of July, I would say. Ace for off, guys, is not in there because it's the 3-bet pot. Yeah, a jam here should include quite a lot of high card type of holdings like ace queen, ace king, especially no diamonds. So he just raise calls off a naked flush draw and raises, walks into kings. What do we think, guys? What do we think? I mean, he's blocking 10s and jacks, and he can fold out hands like king jack, and I get it. Like the most likely re-raises of Stefan are gonna be ace queen, ace king type of holdings. So he has live cards versus those. It's unlikely that he has 10s and jacks. Basically, you just run into worst case scenario. So one of these spots that may seem a little bit optimistic, but this is also something that bigger sizings force from Stefan. So yeah, I think it's just pushing equity. It seems maybe a little bit spewy, but definitely with 10 jack I like it. If you would do this with king queen, I would not like it, or queen jack. But 10 jack I like particularly. Guys, thank you a lot. See you in the next stream on Tuesday, where we're gonna be back playing. And I wish you all a great weekend. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and follow the channel. Go take a look at other videos that we have made. I'm sure you will like it as well. If you want to see a free 1-hour demo of the mechanics of poker, our main coaching program, go over to pokerambition.com/mechanics.